What's up? Peace and blessings to everybody in the room. Alright, at this time, I'd like to call for the Prime Minister of the Black Messiah Edward.
Like putting cell phones on vibrate or silent while we conduct the meeting tonight. So all these interruptions. I think all the brothers are coming out, so we reveal. The new brothers, what we call the Black Messiahs, is we do temple building. We build ourselves, so we can build our families, build our community. So I'm beginning to do an opening. We all get around, hold hands in the form of a circle, and we stand on a square, which we call by 4 L's, which is our love, our life, our love, our life, our light, our liberation. I am that I am.
I am that I am.
I am love.
I am love.
I am life.
I am life.
I am light.
I am light.
I am liberation.
I am liberation.
I am that I am.
I am that I am.
I am love.
I am love.
I am life.
I am life.
I am light.
I am light.
I am liberation.
I am liberation.
I am that I am.
I am that I am.
I am love.
I am love.
I am life.
I am life.
I am light.
I am light.
I am liberation.
I am liberation.
I am the Black Messiah.
I am the Black Messiah.
Ashe.
Ashe.
Okay, open the floor for Minister of Education.
I got some folders, some notepads. I thought I had one of the little pens, but I didn't. Somebody wanna make hey, if somebody wanna make us some folders or something, I got some paper and I got some notepads right here. I thought I had enough pens, but I only got 2, but you know, so make the best with what you know. We got it.
Lessons in the book bag. Oh, you got a bunch of pens up there.
Okay, okay, yeah. What's up, brother? What's going on? Good to see you, bro. How you doing, brother? All right. Yeah, he said he was coming, too. He said he was going to be here. I want to get up, man. Get up.
I forgot who did it. That was my
Anybody who recalled last week? Anything? Anybody recall we kind of discussed a little bit last week? Anybody? Somebody?
Alchem concept. He was on the Alchem concept.
He was on the Alchem concept. Okay.
Right there. Right. You probably write more than me. There's some more paper right here, y'all. Just use all of it.
It was Ada. We went over the Alchem, but how did we get to the Alchem? How did we draft our way to the Alchem? How did we drive to the Alchem? How did we get there? What was the basis? What was the basis? What was the basis? Anybody last week, what was the basis? How did we get to the Alchem?
We talked about the Genesis, the Chaldean account of Genesis.
Okay, we start with the account of Genesis, Chaldean.
And the energy beings, and getting back to
lower nature, high nature, reflective in nature. We talked about the European. and the European pursuit, the Europeans' attack on this planet, how we perceive what the Europeans are doing. And it seems like everything the Europeans doing, the Europeans are trying to take the position of the higher nature, right? So reflective on what you would consider racial war is actually reflective on what's going on in the individual body. Higher nature versus lower nature. Mind over matter. So it comes to a point that now when you've seen the reflective of nature, it's like, as a, let me see how I can say it simply. I'm going to give you a simple terminology. As a mortal mind, remember Aset says no mortal man, no mortal mind can pierce into her veil, right? So if you're looking at it through a mortal mind, not the God self, you're looking at it through the mortal mind, you only see a racial war, right? That's all you see. You see a racial war, you see a racial paradigm, you see the battle between black and white. The battle between the European, Caucasoid, the Caucasian, and the indigenous people of the planet. That's what we see. That's all we see. Right? So then our definition becomes based on elements of what we consider sovereignty. Because we're thinking it's an elemental war that we could just say, well, I declare myself free. And that's the end of the problem. You kind of understand that? See, it's bigger than that. See, because you can declare yourself free, but if you've declared yourself free, that still is not the end of the problem, because now everybody on every continent and in every country or nation right now is still being persecuted in some form of the white supremacist element in what we would call it. Meaning that they're being pursued in a certain type of way. They're being attacked. They're being dethroned in a certain type of way. Right? So now if you perceive it through the mortal mind, you can't see through the veil.
Yeah.
Meaning that you see it in the illusion. Like you've seen it in the flat line. You're right. Because if you see it in the flat line, then you've automatically registered this as a dead issue. Right?
Yep.
This is a dead issue. One thing gonna come out this thing here is blood got run. See? So that's all that's gonna come out of it. But that's the mortal mind. Now the immortal mind will look at it in the supreme intelligence, in the supreme consciousness. What the immortal mind gonna do in the supreme intelligence? See, the immortal mind and supreme intelligence, he got to look at it through what? Listen to it. Listen to the lens now. This is the lens. This is the camera lens. He has to look through it through the alchemy. See? He can't look through it. He can't look at it through the mortal mind. See, he has to look at it through the third eye. Everybody said he's looking at it through the third eye. So if you're looking at it through the third eye, then you're looking at it through the alchemy, the black dot. So now if you're looking at it through supreme intelligence, you're looking at this as an alchemical equation. See, you remember like in the Matrix when it says when he started understanding he is the one, he didn't see people no more. He seen equations, mathematical equations to be solved. You kind of understand that? But if you look at it through the mortal mind, see, then you caught. Man, it's a white man world. They got all the money, they got all the guns, everything based on it. See, now you looking at it through the mortal mind. It's dead. Then you dead. You can't win. For real, bottom line, you can't win. One thing you could do is just say, shit, I was willing to put my life on the line and die for the struggle. And everybody else looking saying, man, you crazy? You just go out there and die. So you just gonna walk out there and you just gonna let them kill you. I mean, you already know you gonna die. So it ain't nothing. You know, like when you see the movies, when you see the English people line up on one line and everybody with that, they get ready and you know, we say, black people, I'm with the army, but I'm not just gonna stand up there and wait on them people to shoot, then we gonna shoot. Ain't no goddamn way, right? But that's really what you do.
And then they run back and reload.
So you say, but damn, you just gonna put your life on the line. That's what many people say. I'm down for struggle, man. They put me like that don't even make no sense. Not on supreme intelligence. Not in supreme intelligence. Supreme intelligence says that's suicide. See, the supreme being can say suicide. You feel bad, I'm the God, but they ain't suicide. But shit, God just jumped off the, you didn't get nothing. I mean, you just died. Right? You know what I'm saying? It's more than that. Right? So it's now, if you're looking at it through the mortal mind, you're not going to look at it in the flat line. You're going to see the dimensions. So you see the building blocks. See, you got to see the heights, the width, and you got to see the dimensions within it. So now when you see the dimensions within it, you say, okay, this is an alchemical formula. This is higher self and lower self at war.
Yep.
Right? What was the alchemical formula that my uncsters, my ancestors, left me to solve this riddle? Because if I miss that, then I could be out here fighting these blind demons forever. So I said, okay, let me check it. So you look through the alchemical lens. But see, now you got to be able to see it through the alchemical lens, right? But you got to activate the alchemical lens.
Right.
See, when you activate the alchemical lens, then you're going to operate as an alchemist. Right. See, now you see the elements, and you understand how to change the elements, right? So you're going to change the elements. You're going to base it on, okay, so this is a certain type of attack. Now, before we go too far in that, alchem. Maybe you hear the only thing to hear about is when people say you turn lead to gold. Lead represents the cave, the tomb, right? The dead state. Lead is dead. Gold is life.
Right.
So to resurrect, see? But nobody don't never really want to say it like that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They want to just keep some knowledge, just a transfer of metallics and elementals. You know what I'm saying? But alchemical process, when you say lead, you're saying a vibrational dead state. When you're saying gold, you're saying it came to a higher vibrational state that is more conducive and conductive to electricity. See, you're an electrical being, right?
Right.
When you lead, see, you in the grave, see, the electrical flow of you is nothing. Your body is solidified. You know what you mean? Your body is solidified. It doesn't become lead. See, this is alchemical formulas. See, when your ancestors told you, let your heart be light as a what? A feather. Right? So your being could not become weighed down by the perceptions of this world. It couldn't be weighed down by this world. But if your being becomes weighed down, see, you become what is called a weight. That's lead. You understand that? That's lead. That's lead. That was the weights. You know, when they put the weight on the scale, the lead. So you became lead. You know what I'm saying? But you know what only thing was light as a feather? Gold dust. Gold dust.
Yes.
Think about it now. Gold not really heavy, you know. You ever got that real gold and you touch it and thing, damn it, bent. You can mash it, it's bent up. You know, people have a misconception of gold. You know, like they think of gold like nickel or something like that.
Right.
You know, they kind of think of it as a more heavier element. But see, you're not looking at it through the alchemical perspectives. So now when you see it and you say, okay, well now they're saying now, so then this comes to the laws of Mott. Right? So this brings you to the laws of Mott. You're dealing with the scales. You're dealing with measurements. Right? Balance. Right? But you're actually learning to play with magnets 20 miles outside of Mecca. Any of y'all know what that means?
No, go ahead.
Huh? Anybody know what that means? 20 miles outside of Mecca. The problem book. Nation of Gods. Nation of Islam. 5%. Yaqub learned to create the lower gene, the white man, by playing with magnets 20 miles outside of Mecca. Mecca is this, what? The holy city, the sacred place, right? 20 is the number of T. The letter T is truth. See? He was 20 miles. He was outside of his truth, outside of the holy city. You know what I'm saying? And there he learned the law of attraction. Magnets is laws of attraction. Laws of attraction. See, you understand laws of attractions. I always tell you that the law of Mott is a reflective science. If you don't really understand the visualization in which your ancestors gave you, you will miss it. Positive, negative. Right? Positive, negative is a magnet. Right? Positive, negative is a magnet. Can a positive attract a positive? No. What does positive do to positive?
Push it away.
Push it away.
Repel.
Repel. So if you're 20 miles outside of your truth, but your truth is your mathematics, which is the nature of your being, right? Your truth is your mathematics, which is the nature of your being. But the nature of your being is Islam. Islam, Mo. 52, Mo. 7, God, right? So Islam means peace, but peace is Hotep. So the nature of you is Hotep. That's why we say the real name of the Messiah or of Jesus, or what they want to ever call the Christ, would be Amenhotep. It is the hidden peace. See, because your peace is hidden from you at this point in time. It's veiled. The veil of Aset. Your physical nature has blinded you from your own peace. Your perception of yourself based on what has taken place to us in this physical paradigm has blinded you from your peace. So your peace is hidden. The Amenhotep, the lost word, that must become flesh, that must be resurrected, right? But your peace is also based on the judgment hall. You say that, God? Why you say the judgment hall? The judgment hall, when you die, you got to go through the judgment hall, right? Right? When you die, you got to go through the judgment hall.
Definitely.
Right? When you die, you got to go through the... So you say it was dying. Our ancestors left us a book of the dead. That's what they call it. But it's coming forth by day. Right?
Yeah.
So it's coming forth by day.
One person called it.
Coming forth. Coming forth. But it's coming forth is the horizon. Right? The coming forth is the horizon. Right? Heru rising.
Yeah.
Right? The sun coming forth. Heru rising. But Heru, when we dealt with Heru on the tree of life, which is the doorway, right? We dealt with it as the 6, Sephira, Cabalistics. Cabalistics. Go study Cabalistics. Go study the Kabbalah. When you study the Kabbalah, you're going to also have to then go to the Metanetta. Because when you go to the Metanetta with Unefa, you're going to see the same symbolical symbol for the tree of life. And what Metanetta going to do is he's going to put the Kemetic deities, or what we call the Kemetic gods, the Netarus, on the tree of life. See, when you go through the Kabbalah, the Hebrews going to give each Sephira a name. And they're going to call them everything from Malkuth, the Had, the Yasad, to Yetz, they're going to give you all these names. So, but each one of these names have meanings because they're attributes of synopsis of the nature of man, right? The attributes of synopsis of nature man, because even though you see a doorway and you see the zigzag line, this is called the tree of life, but the tree of life is man. Right? The tree of life is man. It's the science of man. But on the tree of life, the 6 Sephira, right? In Hebrew, on the Kabbalah, it would be beauty. Right? But on the 6 Sephira, in the Kemetics thing, is Heru. It is Heru. But when you go through the Kabbalah and you go through the Metanetta, you're going to find out also that these Sephiras, these circles where each one of these points at, also are assigned planetary, what you would call them? Principles. I just say principles. That was another word I'm supposed to use. So they're assigned planetary principles. Heru on the tree of life is actually given the planetary principle of the sun, S-U-N. S-U-N, right? But we always talk about this is the pathway of the Messiah, the middle pillar. The middle pillar was always represented by the mathematical equation of what? 26. 26. And we say, well, it's not by accident that we have 26 letters. Alpha, beta, right? Alphabets. We know that the Greek language actually came from the Phoenicians. The Phoenicians are really Canaanites, right? Canaanites are number black people. They are really the Kemet. That's really Egypt. You know, people forget that the Kemetic Empire extended not just in the area which the Europeans mapped out and said is Egypt. We had an empire. So the empire, which you would call Kemet in Egypt, went all the way up. Right. So then when they try to act like right there by Jerusalem, the people that was in Egypt wasn't right there in Jerusalem, but you put in the history book that it was an empire. But then you act like the empire didn't go past this little point right here, and that the people that would be in that area won't be the same people that was in the other area. See, it's like you playing on our intelligence.
That's what they did.
Huh? And it's almost like you got Negroes that's kind of scared to say, I see it. You know what I'm saying? Something's wrong. We can't just say that.
Right.
Huh? Jerusalem was Egypt.
Right.
Bottom line. Right? Jerusalem was Egypt. It was one. It was all one. It's like we simplify our whole concept on it. We simplify our whole concept on it.
Okay.
So now you say, okay, when you come to, you say with the Phoenicians, the Canaanites, oh, you did that. Why? Because we deal with the English alphabet. It's because now when we deal with the English alphabet, we're dealing with a hybrid language.
Suffering.
A hybrid language that is a component of many Hamaretical languages. See, Hamaric, not Amharic, but H-A-M-A-R-Y-I-T-I-C, Hamaric. I think I spelled it right. Look the word up. You will find out when you do the study on languages that from Arabic to Hebrew to most of the Sumerian languages, like now they just find the Sumerian languages relating back to what's the country in West Africa? They just put it with oh man, they just put it. I forgot which country they just put it with. Sumerian language. They just put it with a country in West Africa. But when you're dealing with those languages, then you start finding out that, see, even though you're talking about English language, you know, because we say we speak English, you know, black men be over here, we be messed up. Because everybody tell us, well, brother, you don't speak the holy language. Shit, that shit fucks us up. Then we don't speak African, I don't speak this, I don't speak, so we be messed up.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So it kind of make you feel like, man, I'm not speaking the language. But then you have to understand now, it's like a crazy statement when you say that you taught somebody civilization, but you didn't teach them to speak. Then if they have a language, then you say that's not my language. Well, where the hell did they get the language from? You kind of understand that?
Yeah, yeah.
If you civilize somebody, they on all fours. They acting like animals. Well, who the hell taught them to speak? Where did they get their basic language from? So you had to break down phonetical sounds that they could pronounce. See, they couldn't pronounce all of the high language that we had because the way we spoke was vibrational tones. Right? You got black people that they don't even have to say a word. What? What did he say? Shit, I don't know what that about that. He ain't got to talk. You know, look at what that means. You can make them up a map. It's a sound, right? See, we don't understand it, but you gotta say we speak on higher thing. A word has many meanings to us. We can express a word, but the way we look at you, then you know what that word is. I ain't got to say, I can say the word, but I ain't got to define the word. It's how I look at you with the word that you know. So we communicated on a whole nother level. See, you talking about when you raising somebody from a dead state, trying to teach them to communicate, the language that you have to give them will have to be a hybridical component of many kind of variables that you use every different place to try to get them where they can phonetically communicate. Because they couldn't communicate before that. So anything that they have was yours. So then you miss the science in it because then when they go through the secret schools, they start understanding the phonetical vibrations that's even in the language that they have, and they learn that you taught them this. But then you miss it. You miss it. He's studying it. It ain't no by accident that you got brain waves called alpha waves, beta waves. You know, like we start acting like, that's just by accident. Huh? You know that when the rays from the sun come, you know they talk about the gamma rays and all that stuff come from the rays. So now you got brain waves as alpha waves, beta waves, and you got sun rays that's what? Huh? But then you know the rays that come from the sun, guess how many it is? How many different it is? From gamma rays and all the way up. You know how many it is? 12. 12 for each of your 12 melanated centers in your brain. There's no game. There's a whole other game there. Right. Yeah. 12 times 12, 40, 144. Deal with 144 based on hertz and then frequencies and start talking about something. Start learning the science and what you really got before you, but you be missing it because we have simplified it. We have flatlined it. Right? You know why we flatlined it? Because we in the underworld. We the dead people. This is the land of the dead. So our ancestors told us and left us messages so that when we hear and we going through this passageway, this initiation to Godhood, and we recognizing ourselves, we resurrecting ourselves, that there would be messages that they left for us that guide us in this travels in the underworld. You kind of see? Because you ride in the boat of rock, which is your vessel. You the ark. That's where the ark of the covenant comes from. It's holding the sun, the glory of God. It's the shin that comes in the Father's name, Yahweh, right? That's what you is. So that's what they was carrying. That's what they were talking about. So now you say, okay, the boat of rock, traveling in the underworld. Well, what was the perils that I would have to face in the underworlds? And what was the science and the magical incantations that I would need to guide me through here? That Tahuti would lead me. See, because Tahuti, that Tahuti thought, left me alchemical messages to teach me the wisdom to guide me. See, so when Aset was trying to reassemble this body, right, she had to go to Dejahuti to help her. And Dejahuti had to help her, but Anubis had to help her do the swath, do the mummification, and put the body back together. But they still didn't have the phallic. Means that they didn't still have the ability to regenerate. Meaning the regenerative process is the thought left me alchemical messages to teach me the wisdom to guide me. See, so when Aset was trying to reassemble this body, right, she had to go to Dejahuti to help her. And Dejahuti had to help her, but Anubis had to help her do the swath, do the mummification, and put the body back together. But they still didn't have the phallic. Means that they didn't still have the ability to regenerate. Meaning the regenerative process is the masculine process. See, we talk about feminine in the nature, but the product of the regeneration processes come through the masculine perception. That's why I was given phallus. But masculine means what? Let me go back for you.
Masculine.
Huh?
Masculine.
Okay, I'm going to go back. We're going to figure it out.
You know, feminine.
Yeah, go ahead, say it.
It's not feminine. You got the feminine, then you're dealing with the nine. When you're dealing with the masculine, you're dealing with the masculine, which is linear, which is the lineage of everything before. And that's how you tie into your whole line of everything what you going back to. You got a line through everything. It's a line. Or what you see a ray, it's a direction, but it's a direct line back to where you need to get back to go.
Y'all heard it?
Yeah.
Drop a jewel now. Hope y'all ain't miss it. He dropped a jewel now. He dropped a jewel because he made a very good point, because right now in the debate with many brothers is the lineage, the line doesn't come from the male or the female. Because when you're going through the Bible, they go to acting like it's Jacob and them. But then when you go to deal with other aspects, there's certain areas where they have to name the mother because the lineage comes through the mother. But then they try to delineate the mother. Because if you delineate the mother, then you don't deal with the fact that Jesus, David, Solomon, all of them are what? Because if you take away the mitochondrial DNA, which is the true lineage, right? The woman. But if you deal with the woman, then that means that David, Jesus, and all of them are Moabites. They come from Ruth. Ruth represents truth now. Ruth is a Moabite. That's who Boaz married. Remember Naomi's sons died. And her daughter-in-law followed her back to Bethlehem, to Jerusalem area. Right? This is why Noble Drew Ali said that we are Moabites. Huh? They said, well, damn, Moabites, that take me back to Lot. Lot had incest, right? Lot had incest. So I don't want that. I don't want that lineage there. That's damn incest. He's supposed to sleep with his daughter, right? That's where Moab comes from, man. Right? So it's not something else going on there. Something else going on there. And you say, well, then they might just be telling the truth. Might just been some nasty people back in the day. And that's what happened. Why you have to denounce it? It's because it's been like that. Why you want to change it? See, y'all don't want to deal with the facts. The book say this. Deal with that. Right?
They don't want to go through the shit.
Oh, no, the brother said, well, that can't be. That's something bad. No, that's what the book said. The book said the man slept with his 2 daughters, and from them children came a grandson whose name was Moab. And this is where the Moabites come from. And then when Naomi's sons came over in that area, they married the Moabite Ruth. One of them did. I can't remember the exact name. But when Naomi's husband and the sons died, and Naomi said she's going back to her homeland, Ruth said, you my mother-in-law, and I won't leave you until we both die. And Naomi said, you don't have to do that, child, because I don't got no more sons to give you. They don't need you follow me. I'm an old woman. Ain't nothing I can do for you. Girl, you need to go get you a man and get you some kids and go about your life. But Ruth said, no, I'm going to follow you where the hell was. Ruth followed all the way in, and when Ruth got there, Ruth seen Boaz. Boaz. Well, who is Boaz, brother? Well, Boaz is one of the pillars in King Solomon's temple, representing the kingly lineage.
King.
The kingly lineage. And he said, well, that's kind of confusing me, brother. I don't understand that. The kingly lineage. Right? So then you said, well, okay, from Boaz comes David. Well, Boaz comes Jesse. David, Jesse, Jesse, David, Solomon. That's how it go on down, right? So from Boaz comes this whole lineage, and from them come even down to the thing where you get Jesus, because Jesse runs the lineage to Jesus when you go to Matthew. Y'all know that, right? So then you're saying, okay, well, everybody is part of the Moabite. Damn. Well, who is the Moabite? Well, if Lot and Abraham, right? Lot and Abraham can. Right? Abraham had to do what? He had to go save his nephew Lot, eh? That supposed to be his brother's son, eh? Huh? Didn't Abraham have to go save Lot?
Yeah.
In the Bible? Everybody know? Abraham had to go save Lot, right? Didn't Abraham have to go save Lot? So Abraham had to go save Lot, so Abraham and Lot are the same blood. But you say, well, who is Abraham? But then we talk about Abraham as the Sumerians, right? The land of Chaldea, the Chaldeans. What we say with the Chaldeans, that's what? That's the land of Akkad. Akkad, what is that? A-K-K-A-D? Akkad, the Akkadian, Babylonian land. Oh, that's the land of Nimrod. But Nimrod was a Cushite. Oh, shit. So Nimrod's a Cushite. So I mean then that Jesus and everybody else you name, them people come up from Cushite black blood lineage. From Ethiopia. Abyssinia. Huh? See, it's like, even though we look at the Bible, you can war with it, but you ain't got to really even war with it. Just know it. It took all the way to the circle, came all the way back around. And the thing still took you right back to your people. Right? Now, what happens is, Ethiopia is marked in the Bible. Right? Abyssinia is marked in the Bible. But in the Cabalistical science, Abyssinia, people of the abyss, Ethiopia, the symbol that was on the crown for that area was the vulture.
True.
What y'all know about the vulture? The Cabalistical crown had a vulture on it in the lower Nubian, Abyssinian area. Right?
Yeah.
What does the vulture do? What's the symbolism of vulture? Anybody got an idea? The vulture. So we
Scavenger.
They clean up.
Huh?
Scavenger.
Scavenger?
Yeah.
Scavenger. What do he dead, right?
Yeah.
Clean up.
Yeah. I assume they could see like the hawk too.
Okay. Somebody help me out. Somebody help me out, man. Think.
Think
I told you one thing at the beginning of the class. I said always look at it through what? Huh? Through the third eye. The alchemical eye. Now look at the vulture. What does the vulture do?
Easter day.
What does it do?
Easter
Or what does it do? Alchemical, you flatline it. That's just some flatline. That's just some flatline.
It proceed death. It know you before you
No, if you flatline, you still flatline it. What does the vulture do?
Lives off the dead.
What does the vulture do?
Flies high.
Fly. What does the vulture do? The vulture is an alchemical symbol. It transfers life from death to life.
That's right.
It comes and eats the dead and turns it to living. Leaves nothing on the ground unused. Everything's an alchemical process. Even that which you thought was dead can be transferred to life. Oh. So that means the vulture got to be the last part of it. See, because it's the death process. It's the transformation of death. Huh? See, the Uraeus is entering of life. The Kundalini force, the breath, all that. So the Uraeus crown, Egypt, Kemet area, see, that's what that. But that had to die. But now the vulture has to transform that dead being, that dead essence, and transfer it back to life. But this won't happen. This will only happen under the lion couch. Oh, y'all forgot about that.
Lenny had that. That was one of the things he had. You know, he symbolized that in the cobra. Because he was that, he was there with that.
Now, that takes us to the next stage, right? Y'all ready? So if the vulture is the symbolism, right? Or the transferring of death to life, right? That's the resurrection time. That's the judgment time, right? Whoa, that's the so-called bullshit ass last days times, right? That's what it is, ain't it?
That's what they say.
Last days. What about the end? So we be scared. Well, they're scared you to death. Freeze you all the way out. So you scared of everything. So you say, okay, well, the vulture come. Okay, the vulture. Why we ain't never really talking about that symbolism? See, the vulture is alchemical science. See, they don't want to teach us alchemy. That's a forbidden art. You don't teach the slaves that. That's the art of the master. Huh? That's the art of the master now. See, y'all don't even really get it now. See, I'm gonna take your place. I'm gonna say some things, take your place that you really don't think you probably don't think you're supposed to go, but I'm gonna explain something to you. I'm gonna give you something. You probably don't think you're supposed to go here, but you're gonna go here. And they're gonna throw you all the way off, but we're gonna come right back to it, right? We're gonna come right back to it. Genesis is a good book because we call Genesis Gene of Isis, right? So the gene of Isis, the gene of Aset. The gene of Isis, the gene of Aset. It's a genetical genealogy book. Okay, okay, here we go. Genesis chapter 4. I'm gonna give a few of y'all a Bible if y'all want. Somebody want to check it out? Ain't that many Bibles up here, but you want to check it out. Somebody want to check it out? Y'all want to check it out? Genesis chapter 4. It's page 4 in the book, chapter 4, and it's verse 17, and I'm gonna read on down. Y'all ready? And Cain knew his wife, and she conceived and bare Enoch. And he built a city, and called the name of the city after the name of his son Enoch. And unto Enoch was born Irad. Irad begot Mehujael, and Mehujael begot Methuselah, Masael, and Methusael begot Lamech. And Lamech took unto him 2 wives. The name of one was, see, you gotta understand, like, they don't always give you the names of the wives. You know what I'm saying? Now they just said Cain knew his wife, but they ain't saying a name. Right. But they come back right when they come right on further down the thing, they said Lamech took 2 wives. Guess what? We're gonna give you their names. Right? So now if you flatline, you just reading the thing like, oh, let's go to those stories. Oh, this. You know, you all miss all the good thing right there. You have to say, well, okay, hold up. Lamech got 2 wives, and they about to give me the names of his 2 wives. And the name of one was Ada, and the name of the other was Zillah. And Ada bare Jabal. Jabal was the father of such that dwell in the tents, and of such that have cattle. Well, we always talk about the 7 bodies, and we say cattle is like the fire. But cattle is the blood and the breath, right? But the tent, the four pillars of the heart, okay, dwell in the tent. You come back. Y'all ready? And Jabal, he was the father such that dwell in the tent, and of such as have cattle. And his brother name was Jubal. He was the father of all such that handle the harp and the organ. And Zillah, she also bare Tubal-Cain, an instructor of every artifice in brass and iron. And the sister of Tubal-Cain was Naamah. Right? And Lamech said unto his wives, Ada and Zillah, hear my voice, ye my wives of Lamech, hearken unto my speech. For I have slain a man to my wounding, and a young man to my hurt. If Cain shall be avenged 7-fold, truly Lamech 70 and 7-fold. And Adam knew his wife again, and she bare a son called his name Seth. Now how the hell he just jumped like that?
Yeah.
See, y'all missing this a code, right? Because Seth represents something happening now, right? Something happening. I'm just giving you just a brief insight. I'm not going all the way in on it. But now Tubal Cain. 2 balls in the cane. You know 2 balls in cane? That represents a penis.
Right.
But the penis is the pineal gland. And the pineal gland has a sister named Naamah, which is pituitary, which is the pit. Oh. Oh. Huh?
Yes.
But that's the activation of Lamech. Lamech is a code, if you look at it, it's a word called grammatria. And it's also called, you break down words. And if you look at the word Lamech, you will see Alchem. Chem is Kim, just like Khem is Kim. Kim is Ham, but Kim is alchem. Lamech is alchem, the alchemical science, the third eye. Right? See, that's that science. See here in that operation here, that's where it's at. Right? This is where the master's at. Because you operate in that realm. When the third eye is open, you are operating. The priest is the keeper of the temple. At that point in time, you become a 13. You become an M. You become a master. See, you ain't no master no other way. You're not master by declaration. You master by truth, not by a false operation. That's clandestine. But when you operate in the fullness of the open of the alchem of the Lamech, at that point in time, you have come into it. Then you study what Lamech's wives' names mean. And you will understand why he has a duality here. A polarity. Because there's a duality. Because we said now, if you see it as just a race war, you've only seen it in one polarity. But if you've seen it in the alchemical science, then you see it in the degrees of mastership. Because you understand that there's an attack upon your craft and you're going to have to navigate through troubled waters. And the person who knows how to navigate through troubled waters is a star seer. But your star is your Peter and Pituitary. That's the star gate. That's the northern star. That's your guiding post. That's the knowledge of yourself that will guide you through all things. And when you know the knowledge of yourself, you are not weighed down by this world. Then your heart is light as a feather. And when your heart is light as a feather, then you weigh negative. And when you weigh negative, you attract positive. So Yaqub, Jacob, the science of the pineal gland, who came face to face with God in the valley of Peniel, and Alchem, the third eye. See, he learned to play. He learned to create the lower self by playing with magnets. Understanding if you weigh down and you positive, you will attract negative. So you will create a lower vibration of your being. And you will have to resurrect from that. You will have to find Jacob's ladder. Your DNA structure will have to be repaired. So that means you will have to regenerate your being in the underworld. Right? So that means Aset, the nature of you, Isis, Aset, the nature of you has to bring you forth. But that which understands that bringing you forth in that process is an alchemical process on self. Dejahuti, thought. Enoch, the serpent handle, wisdom. And wisdom hews out the 7 pillars. Proverbs in the Bible. The 7 bodies of man. We fall down 7 times, but we get back up. Right? So through the wisdom which your ancestors left you, the Caduceus symbol. What was that? But the Caduceus symbol returned to you in a story called Jesus Christ. The Caduceus symbol returned to you in a story called Moses. The 7 bodies returned to you in Islam with the Prophet Muhammad. See, so then we start measuring the measurements of our being. See, because we got to try to master this craft. See, then we understand all of the metaphysical symbols. See, there's no need to be worried, God. Your time is coming. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. It's like now it's just fight. Fight without no fear. You know, it's a different thing when you don't know if your time will come. So you know, like, if you say, damn, boy, I don't know if I hit this joker, if I go ahead and take this first punch, this joker take it, boy, I might be fighting for hours. Huh? But you like, well, I gotta, you know, but if you know, say, look here, I'm conditioned. It's different. See, that's why he say a fight, he fuck you up. See, he already ready. You say, I'm conditioned. You know what I'm saying? I'm conditioned. See, you gonna go in there, once you, and you go about 20 seconds, you go over here. See, because too much adrenaline will raise your heart rate to a certain thing. See, not knowing throws your fight up. Huh? Remember I told you one day? They say knowledge is to know the ledge. Yes. But if you have no knowledge, my people perish due to a lack of knowledge. Right? Mm-hmm. If you don't know there's ground there, see, you ain't going to take that step. Huh? You ain't take it. See, your step won't, see, you can't win a fight like that. You know how football is? Look at that man, he tippy-toeing. You know what I'm saying? When you see the joker tippy-toeing, he's scared to hit the hole. Scared to hit the hole, he's tippy-toeing. They say, man, you got to just hit that hole. And if you hit the hole, you can miss all your blocking. Right. So your blocking be done collapse. Because you playing. You hit that hole, and boy, hit that thing, you gonna come up out that mother, you come out there running, right? But if you tippy-toeing, them boy will hit, block. No matter how you tippy-toe up in there because you scared, the hole going like this. So by the time you get it, you running the boy's back. Huh? True. Or when you got knowledge, see, you know, you're on tippy toe. See, so you say, well, the greatest weapon used against a black man was lack of knowledge of self for himself. Why? Because that decapitated him. That cut his head off. What that mean, Dre? Well, if his head got cut off, right? See, it's symbolism. Just symbolism. Your head got cut off, you have to think, right? See, it's a duality in yourself, right? It's a duality in yourself. This is a basic lesson now. There's duality in yourself. The duality in yourself, so you always represent the Christ story too, right? So if you represent the Christ story and you represent the doorway, right? And you represent the doorway, Boaz and Joshin, the kingly and priestly pillar. So you is Melchizedek, right? Right? You is Melchizedek. You are the doorway. Because ain't nowhere for you to go but inside yourself, right? That's right. So the door got to be you, because you can't walk in me. Right? You can't do that.
Alright.
So it's got to be you. So you is Melchizedek, and Melchizedek is a symbol of the doorway. So now you say, okay, what that means? So, brother, that means you the kingly and the priestly pillar. Well, what happened to the priestly pillar? See, in the Jesus story, the priestly pillar got his head cut off because the king didn't come in time. What? I don't remember that story there. John the Baptist was in prison, and they sent the message and said that the Son of Man has arrived. And John the Baptist said, well, okay, it's about to be on. Y'all mother don't know what y'all fucking with. Now I know I'm about to get up out of here. And before John the Baptist got out of the prison, he got his head cut off. Now I say John the Baptist was the greatest of the kingdom, but he was the least because John the Baptist was upset that the Christ or that the king didn't move in time. Right? But the Son of Man said it wasn't my time to move. I got to die. But damn, both of y'all gonna die. See, John the Baptist died first. See, everybody forget that part of the story. You know what I'm saying? But when they say, some say you Elijah, some say you Jeremiah, but they said John the Baptist was Elijah. So they saying you John the Baptist returned? Yeah, see, we don't catch all that shit there. You know, that shit just blow out fast. Oh, shit. Then Elijah, John the Baptist was represented as the same person in the prophetical teaching. So that means that Jesus and John the Baptist represented the same person. Right? John the Baptist was the priest. He done bowed down. But Jesus, he was the king. He was drinking wine and balling with the sinners. Get swagged out. That's what the king do, right? But the priest sitting on the side, he in the desert. He in locusts or sackcloth. He praying every day. Jesus riding around, they got their tripping. That boy like that. Jesus got women all that want to see Mary Magdalene. I see my Mary. You know what I'm saying? That's what he was doing. You missing it. Y'all don't really get it. But it represented, guess what it represented? Guess what it represented?
What's that?
You today.
Right.
That's why I'm here.
That's represented you today. And guess what? Your priestly self, John the Baptist, your 13, your master, see, that's what was cut off. The head was cut off. He said, well, what are the brothers today? They swag, they got the royal appeal. You know what I'm saying? We God by nature, boy. We got that, boy. I got to live his life, boy. I got to live his life, boy. I got to live his life. But the master gone. The alchemical scientists, the magicians, they gone. The gods with the power is gone. They look like the gods, but where they at? That's what the European be doing. He be looking. Say, yeah, they look like them. And they even act like them. They're very arrogant. You know, they just think they're the shit. You want to beat their ass. That's how they see you. That's how they see it. But then they say, okay, well, guess what? They don't know. They don't know.
That's deep. That's deep.
So they know the head cut off. So you say, okay, well, the master gone. Right? But the master is the 13. But the master represents the pineal and the pituitary, the alchem, the black dot. The communication with their higher nature has been cut off. How do you regenerate the being and receive the intellectual communication from their higher nature? See, the only way they can communicate with their higher nature, they have to be taught of their nature. See, because you can't hear something that you don't notice even there. You can't perceive something that you have been taught to see. You know what I'm saying? start saying, okay, well, that's one lesson we won't teach them. Because we have to make them afraid of that. So then they consolidate these things called religions. And when they give you these religions, in the coldness of religions, they flatlining you every time. Right? See, they're keeping you in a dead state. Right? They're keeping you in a dead state, keeping you in what you would consider terror. Keep you where you got to keep facing these demons of our past. Demons you can't even see, but you know they're there. Right? And they lurking in the darkness, smiling. You know what I'm saying? So when they talked about the underworld travels in the boat of Ra, and that while they was going through the currents and the flows of the waters in the underworld, that these beasts and these demons they would be faced with, and these terrors unparalleled. Right? That would confuse them and make them say, I want to turn back. I don't want to complete this voyage. Right? That would mean that they are seeking to abort the mission. Right? When you say abort the mission, see, I use the Jesus story because I love the Jesus story. Because we say we black messiahs, so the Jesus story is about messiahs. So I will always say that a messiah will have swag, but a messiah, his head was cut off a long time ago. Right? But when we say his head, you have to remember that we used to call the dick the head, right? Some of the people still do it. That's the phallus, right? They say you're using two heads. Which head you thinking with? Remember? Yeah. Right? See, you got to understand it. See, because then that means the regenerative process, not just the head. But the head is the brain, but the brain is the 16, which is the king. But until the king, which 16 is, knowledge is equality. Remember we was there? Until the king, knowledge is equality. Equality is as above, so below. So 16 is the number of power. Power means to generate. I mean, it's going to take some power to make this craft turn on, right? So the only way you're going to generate it is through your mind, knowledging as above, so below with yourself. Seeing yourself in your divine nature. See, that means at that point in time, a higher law has overcome a lower law. Right? To change something, Dejahuti thought, said that if you want to change something, you have. But when we say his head, you have to remember that we used to call the dick the head, right? Some of the people still do it. That's the phallus, right? They say you're using two heads. Which head you thinking with? Remember? Yeah. Right? See, you got to understand it. See, because then that means the regenerative process, not just the head. But the head is the brain, but the brain is the 16, which is the king. But until the king, which 16 is, knowledge is equality. Remember we was there? Until the king, knowledge is equality. Equality is as above, so below. So 16 is the number of power. Power means to generate. I mean, it's going to take some power to make this craft turn on, right? So the only way you're going to generate it is through your mind, knowledging as above, so below with yourself. Seeing yourself in your divine nature. See, that means at that point in time, a higher law has overcome a lower law. Right? To change something, Dejahuti thought, said that if you want to change something, you have to change the vibration. But to change the vibration, you must change the mind. See, so the mindset at this plane where we at, right, had to change. Why?
Get to the higher vibration.
Why? Why did it have to change? Are we good where we at?
No.
Hell no. Hell no. Right?
True.
But the mind that chooses, See, I'm going to give you another metaphysical thing so you can remember. Moses represents the mind. Remember we said Moses is the number for 5, right? But mind is the number for power. 5 is the number for power, right? But power is 16. But the 16 really is knowledge equality. Meaning that we say that through the 2 eyes, light goes in the refraction of the brain. But it is the mind that sees. Remember? It is the mind that sees. It's not the brain, it's not this, it's the mind that sees. So the mind sees based on the precepts that's within it. Right? And when the mind sees this, the mind, right? The mind perceives the world. When the mind sees the world, the mind then projects to the soul. Right?
Right.
The mind then projects to the soul. And the soul looks at the mind, and the soul says, that's who I am. So the journey of the soul, what soul is? Take the you out. What soul is? Soul. What does that mean? Solar. Solar. Sun. So when we talk about the boat of Ra, the soul, the sun, right? Traveling. So we say the travels of your soul in the underworld. Well, shit, that means your soul really an extension past this physical body.
That's right. Definitely.
So it's almost really like, for real, you Cyrus A, B, and C. What? You say, what? You the Giza? You Cyrus A, B, and C. The Giza is Jesus. Giza, Jesus. You know what Giza is? Giza Plateau. The Giza Plateau. Y'all know what that is, right? The 3 pyramids? Huh? Oh, okay. That's the Orion Belt, right? But Orion is the mighty hunter, right? And Nimrod was a mighty hunter before God. Hold up. And Nimrod was a mighty hunter before God. Who was Nimrod? Nimrod go back to Sumer, Chaldea, was go back to Abraham, go back there, created the Hebrews and came all the way back down, right?
Yes.
Oh, but Osar was associated with Orion. Osiris was associated with Orion. Yeah. Oh, so this is where all these symbolisms coming in there. Somebody trying to teach me about certain alignments and stuff, right? Y'all ain't with me yet. Y'all with me?
Yeah.
Somebody trying to tell me about certain things, dates and patterns, right? Right? Because they know the knowledge of myself. Right? They know what's going on. That's so below. So even in the horizon, coming forth by day, the rising of the sun, the Egyptian book of the dead, the travels of the Duat, the underworld. Right? So they telling us, and they giving description, they tell us about certain science that's going to go on, and they telling you about certain things to take, and they talk about the Sopdu, the softest arc, the solstices with the summer solstices, and the winter solstices, but all those be aligned with certain stars, with constellations when they come into place. So they telling you about all of this, and they telling you about certain things coming on, right? Right? And then you see in there, you see this picture. And you see this vulture. And you say, well, damn. What the hell is that vulture for? And you say, well, that vulture, they call you Mut. But some people say Muth. Some people say mouth. But Mut is what they would say, like in the deities they put the female always with a male. And Mut would coincide with what you would call Kansu, the lunar. Oh, y'all who be getting the text, y'all kind of know where I'm at now. So Mut is associated with Kansu, which is the moon, the lunar. Right. Remember I said that you are actually solar beings, light-body beings. Right? But the sun is in the underworld. But the underworld, when the sun goes into the underworld, that's a 70-day process. That's your peace symbol. That's Cyrus, ABC. Remember when that's the travel and the 70-day funeral rites. Listen to what I'm telling you now. I'm just giving you the 70-day funeral rites. And the 70-day funeral rites, right? We're talking about the 70-day funeral rites, go back to Anubis, right? And Anubis goes back to the Ka, or the Swat, which was the wrapping of the mummy, right? Which was the embryonic force. Remember how we talked about the lion path, the book And I said I had nothing but the cover of it. And it showed you that the brain, and it showed you the light coming in the Arlington and them, right? And we talk about the 12 melanated sinners, right? The 12 melanated sinners, the 12 melanated sinners, the 12 disciples, right? 12 zodiacs, right? So when we get there, and they talking about the science, but then you see Mut, the vulture, put with Khonsu. But Khonsu actually later on, the moon, the lunar deity, then becomes Aya or becomes Yah in Kemet at the 18th dynasty. So the 18th dynasty, 18, the letter R, ruler, measurements, meaning ruler's not always just ruler. Ruler means a measurement stick. So this 18th dynasty, this is our measuring stick, right? So they left us things to measure. So we would always have the measurements of the temple. Oh, Ezekiel, teach the children of Israel measurements of the temple so they shall know their iniquities. Huh? Ezekiel chapter 43. So now we say teach them the measurements, right? So you say the 18th dynasty represents the measurements so that we would know a measurement. So the 18th dynasty is the last time we really actually had the measurements of Amenhotep. Right? 18th dynasty of Amenhotep. Ahmosis, he born of the moon. Right? Which became Yah or Aya or Jah. Right? Y'all don't hear me, man.
Go ahead, brother.
Y'all really don't hear me. Listen, man. It's a clear, if you understand it, you understand it, it's easy. So you take the story of Moses, right? You take this. You got to hear it now. When you take the story of Moses, you're talking about a people in captivity,
Right.
a people in slavery, right? But Moses is really Ahmosis.
Right.
The 18th dynasty is the measurements for the people in captivity, right?
Right.
I should call my son out of Egypt, right? Moses goes to where? Abyssinia, marries the queen, right? Zipporah, Jethro, right? Jethro, the priest, teaches Moses, right? Moses has to do what? Remove the people from slavery. Set my people free. But we know that's an encodement. I ain't got to go all the way in it. You want to debate it? We can debate it. Osmosis. But osmosis represents the 18th dynasty. The 18 missing years of what?
Jesus.
Because Jesus was 12. And he didn't show back up till he was 30. 30 represents the letter in the Hebrew alphabet of Shin, meaning the fire, pyramid, fire in the mid. 12 years old, right? 12 years old. He ain't activated them yet. But he's in the temple, warm with the scholars. So he is in the temple, warm with the scholars, building his knowledge. Now when he busts the dome, fire comes at 30. Right? But at 30, he has to be baptized. He got to be baptized. Guess what? He got to be baptized in what? Huh? What's the waters come from? The cosmic waters. The black waters. The melanin. The deep substance, the alchemical. Huh? See, he wasn't just baptized. Even Jesus was able to enter into the temple through the order of what? Oh, where did he get that order from? Huh? Okay, so John the Baptist represents the priest, but the priest represents the master. Right? master got to baptize him. Right? So that means he's coming into mastership at 30. But his mastership is when the son, 30, the Shin, done come in the father's name. The middle pillar, remember? Yahweh. Now listen to the cipher now. Yahweh. Yahweh is the 26, right?
Yep.
Yod. Yod is what? 10. The numerical value for the Hebrew letter Yah. Yod is 10. Hey is 5. Va is 6. And the other Hey is 5. 10 plus 5 plus 6 plus 5 is 26. G-O-D. G-O-D is God. 7 plus 15 plus 4 is 26. So it's not by accident. Genesis chapter 1 verse 26. Let us create man in our image and our likeness. One brain, 26.
Run a break.
1 plus 2 plus 6 equals. So we talking about a born process. So we talking about coming out of the waters of life. So at 30, the sun rose. Shin. And that's placed in Yahweh becomes Yahshua. Yahshua. When you put the Shin in the name of Yahweh, that means you just put it in the middle. Between, you got 4 letters, right? 4 letters represents tetragrammaton. So it is tetra symbolizing 4, gram, a ton. A ton. Well, a ton is what? Unconton, right? Talking Akhenaten. So why is the Hebrew letter tetragrammaton? Yahweh is the 4. But the 4 symbolizes what?
Import?
The 4.
Oh, yeah, man.
Right? But as above, so.
Below.
And so when you come into 16, you knowledge your equality. So you knowledge as above, so. So at 16, see, you start to generate this power. Which at that point in time, like Dejahudi said, that at that point in time, you change in your mind. See, your mind is then seeing yourself in a different perception. The perception in which the enemy is placed on you. So at that point in time, all of the things that the enemy has done to you and placed on you, you then rise above it because you change the vibration of your own very being by changing your mind. How do you free your people? How do you free your people from the illusions which enemies change their mind on what they're seeing? Make them see it through the alchemical process. If they see it through the alchemical process, then they know how to alchemically change it. See, alchemy is a process of change. Everything is always changing. Nothing stays the same. Nothing is by chance. Nothing happens by accident. Everything happens based on a law. Cause and effect. Right? When you understand that, if you continue to be a sufferer, who caused that? If you continue to be powerless, who caused that? If you continue to see yourself without the ability to resurrect yourself, who caused that? So once you come to understanding the laws of alchemy for yourself, then you can make change. Because you understand the God principle. You understand that you could take this dead lead that you've been carrying around, this weighted vision of yourself that weighs you down when you feel like you're tired of carrying your own damn life. Huh? I know I ain't been the only one that felt like I was tired of carrying my own life.
Right, bro.
I'm tired of this shit, yeah, man. This shit every motherfucking day. You know what I'm saying? What you carrying? Huh? You got no weights. What you carrying? Right here in your brain. You carrying your life. Your visualization of your future and yourself. I create my tomorrow today. But if somebody has taught me how to see myself today outside of the knowledge of myself, then guess what? My tomorrow is another dead day. Because me, I still haven't resurrected from the grave in which the enemy has placed me when he took me in the slave ship. I still haven't resurrected from when the Hyksos first invaded us and broke us down our temples and made us lose our way from our rights of passage to our God self.
First time?
First time. I still haven't resurrected when they came out of the caves and they invaded us in Sumer and Ur and Chaldea. So that means that guess what? The Ruffins, the 3 Ruffins. Yes, sir. You got it, and you called it, and the 3 Ruffins. And they hit us in different directions. Huh? Ain't that something? Ain't that something? And we said, just be patient.
Hold on, I'm coming.
Life in due time will bring you to the point that you need to be. But you can't steal this from us. Because we can't give you this. This is not something I can take out of me and you can eat and you can have. But the enemy proceeded to take over the world in search of the master pay. See, so then he weighed down the whole world because their pineal gland became calcimated, hardened, third eye closed. And at that point of time, we became heavy as lead. But see, the gods came to the planet in search of gold. Listen, under the laws of Mott, when they asked about reading the writings on the wall in the book of Daniel, there was a statement about have you been found weighed and balanced. But we always know that when you put that together with the writings on the wall, we know what that is. Because we know the wall is what?
The measurements of a man.
Man, which is
An angel.
which is the measurements of an angel.
Yeah.
And Jacob, Yaqub, playing with magnets, wrestled with an angel all night until he came face to face with God, with himself.
Yeah.
And this is the generation of them that seek thy face. Psalms 24. O ye doors, O you gates. Psalms 24. O you doors, O you gates. Who is the King of glory? Huh? See, because one pillar, see, the King of glory is the one who has gained access into the sacred places. See, Solomon was supposed to be represented, and David was supposed to be represented as the kings of glory. Because they were allowed to do what? Go before the ark of the covenant, the glory of God. That's within you, the temple of man. So who is the King of glory? Who has been able to enter in to the veil of our sin? Who has resurrected himself? Who is found written and worthy to be able to be said to be a black Messiah? Huh? See, it ain't just a statement. It's got to be a living reality. Yes, sir.
Like you said last week, you have to put yourself not only at looking at it as a story, but look at yourself as in the story.
In the
It
story.
being you.
I'm going to read something to you. And so you kind of understand the definitions of the study. I use a key, the Joseph key. Y'all know I always use the Joseph key. Y'all never been in class, but the Joseph key I use, and we go through the Joseph key because the Joseph key takes you to who? Ephraim. And Ephraim takes you to Joshua, which Joshua then is a Menhotep, right? But we use Joseph because there came a Pharaoh who knew not Joseph. So we know that this is the time period when the invaders were living in Egypt and not. But Joseph is not Jesus. Is not he the son of Joseph, the what? The carpenter. But it wasn't carpenter. Remember we got to read the word the other day? It was tekton. It was architect, or it would be master builder. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So Joseph was not really what you think it is. Joseph was more like a title in a sense. Remember, architect goes to this doorway. What is this doorway? What is this? Arch doorway. Architect. See, he has the technology of the arch. What you're dealing with when you have the technology of the arch, you're dealing with the three suns. Right? Mid-heaven, ascend, and descend. Right?
Right.
Three positions of the sun. Ham, Shem, and Japheth. Noah represents the sun. Right? Alright. So you're dealing with that because in that time is the flood. Right? But the flood represents judgment time. But the flood represents Aquarius. We're in the age of what? Aquarius. That's what they say. Flood time. But the age of Aquarius, when the water breaks, what is that called?
Flood.
When the water breaks, what is that called? When the water breaks, what is that called? Birth. It's a birth process. We're in a born stage. What's being born? That's why I tell you, brothers, don't call it the age of Aquarius, call it the age of HEREBY. Because HEREBY is the house of Horus. See what I'm saying? So what's being born? The sun, Horus. The redemption, the regenerated genetical being is being returned to the planet. We're into planetary frequencies that's going to start the molecular structure to change. And as long as the thinking pattern and the individual fathers and mothers start to change, the children that come out of them will be the genetically superior beings in the next few years. See, some people say that's some Hitler fantasy. Hitler knew science, brother. That's why Hitler was going and grabbing Helen Blavatsky and all of these alchemists, so-called studying Wicca witches and stuff like that, because Hitler understood how to create tomorrow. Now, I'm not hailing Hitler or nothing. People say, oh, you hailing Hitler. I'm saying Hitler understood knowledge. You know what I'm saying? He understood knowledge, and he was going to use the knowledge to advance what he wanted to advance. You know what I'm saying? We're not advancing no type of hate, gender, nothing. We're talking advancing the divine, supreme, intellectual, divine being on the planet. You know what I'm saying? So that is a Messiah. That is the resurrected being. So when we go into that, we start learning, okay, it was more to some of these stories. And so I just want to read a little component about Joseph, so you can kind of understand. The real meaning of the word Nazar. Nazar, we're talking about this word Nazarites, right? And I'm going in that because the week before last week I dealt with Rasta, right? And I'm going to tell you about the locks and the vow of the Nazarene and the vow of the Nazarite. But Nazar is a word that goes to Azar, which is fire. Asar goes to the word Asar, which is Osiris. But Osiris is the black one. But Osiris actually, when you say the black one, Osiris, when you go to the black one, you're talking about the black dot. But the black dot has another meaning. The black dot means the anointed one. See, when you open the third eye, it's the anointing. See what I'm saying? That's when the oil has been drained on the head. My cup is full, my cup runneth over. Kind of understand? So when you're talking about the locks, the 7 locks, when you talk about the locks, there's a vow of separation unto the Creator, right? It's not just hair. Remember I said the peculiar people? When we talked about that, I said the peculiar people. Deuteronomy talked about the peculiar people. But the peculiar people were what? They were a royal priesthood. Remember, royal represented kingly and priestly. So the Nazarites were considered a royal priesthood. Right? The real meaning of the word Nazar signifies to vow or concentrate oneself to the service of God. As a noun, it is a diadem or emblem of such concentration. A head so concentrated. Joseph was styled as Nazar. The head of Joseph, the vertex of the Nazar among his brethren. Samson and Samuel, Sim, a son, and Simval, are described alike as Nazars. Porphyry treating Pythagoras says that he was purified and initiated at Babylon by Zarathustra, the head of the sacred college. May it not be surmised, therefore, that Zoroaster was a Nazar of Ishtar. Ishtar, Afterthought, Hathor, Asathoth. Zardas or Nazarite, being the same with the change of the idiom, Isra was a priest and a scribe, a hierophant, and the first Hebrew colonizer of Judea was Zerubbabel, or Zorro, or Nazar of Babylon. The Jewish scriptures indicate two distinct worship religions. Now, what happens is, let me go right here. Okay, here we go. The Nazarite sect existed long before the laws of Moses and originated amongst the people most inimical to the chosen ones of Israel, the people of Galilee. The ancient Ola Podoria, or the Idolatrous nations, where was built Nazar, the present Nazareth. It is in Nazar that the ancient Nazaria or Nazarites held their mysteries of life or assemblies, as the word now stands in the translations, which were but the secret mysteries of initiation. Utterly distinct in the practical form from the popular mysteries which were held at Biblius or in honor of Adonis, while the true initiates of the Austrite Galleys were worshiping the true God and enjoying transcendent visions, what were the chosen ones about? Ezekiel tells it to us, chapter 8,